Learners at home, it's another moment for social studies. I am Ogunshola Samson Olumiwa, your teacher for today. I'm taking junior secondary 1 to 3 in a topic we belong to one group or the other, and in each group that we belong to, we act in different ways. These actions that we take in our groups are known as group behavior. So in this lesson, we are discussing positive group behavior. Positive group behavior, that means there may be negative group behavior. But we want to leave that negative group behavior aside for now. In the course of the lesson, we will mention it. But our emphasis today will be on positive group behavior. What do we stand to achieve after this lesson? We stand to achieve the ability to describe group and group behavior. We'll be able to give types of group. We'll be able to mention types of group behaviors that we have. We'll be able to list the characteristics of constructive group behavior. I say constructive, yes. Now we enumerate the benefits of positive group behavior. Whatsoever is positive is beneficial. Therefore, we are going to, at the end of the lesson also, discuss the benefits of positive group behavior. What is a group? What is a group? A group is a collection of 2 or more people with a purpose and aspiration. Emphasis, 2 or more people. A person doesn't form a group. A group starts from 2 persons and above. Okay? What is a group? Furthermore, it's an association of 2 or more persons interacting among themselves to achieve common goals. Collection of people, association of people coming together, interacting to achieve common goals. That is a group. A group can also be described as a number of persons who share feelings or belonging and therefore interact with one another. They share feelings, they share belongingness, and they interact with one another. That is a group. Now, with these different definitions, that means there's possibility of having different types of groups. Let's look at types of groups. Types of groups. How many types of groups do we have? Primary group is the first one we'll talk about. A primary group is typically a small social group whose members share close personal enduring relationships. That's a primary group. They are close, they are personal, and their relationships are enduring. That is a primary group. Examples of primary groups is the family. The family or the friends that we have. Immediate friends that we have. The second one we'll discuss is the secondary group. Secondary group. Now, secondary is opposite of primary. We say primary group is small, but a secondary group will be larger than a primary group. Therefore, secondary groups are large groups whose relationships are impersonal and goal-oriented. Example is a class of GS students, like you have. In your JS class in your school, you are a secondary group. We have formal groups. Out of formal, what is formal? Official. Formal, official. So what comes to your mind now is official group. It is formed when people come together to accomplish special goals and objectives, especially in organizations like banks, airlines, and other formal settings. You can think of institutions, you can think of companies in these formal groups. These are examples of formal groups. If we have formal, there will be informal. Therefore, we have informal groups also. What are informal groups? Just like you have heard it, a group of people that just come together. The group is get created spontaneously, without preparation, unprepared, as soon as individuals start interacting with each other. Example of such group is the set of passengers at a bus station or passengers at a train station. When passengers go together to enter a bus, they might not have known one another before, but when you want to describe them, you say a group of passengers are entering the bus. A group of passengers are waiting for the train to arrive. Therefore, examples of informal groups are groups of people waiting at the bus station, group of people at the train station. You may want to mention the airport also, waiting to fly. Now, we also have interest groups. Interest groups. An interest group is a group of people that seek to influence public policy on the basis of particular common interest or concern. They share common concern, they want salary increase, they want policy change, they want better treatment, maybe from their employers. Then they form interest groups, such people. Examples of such can be traced to two groups. They could be religious groups or professional groups. Examples of religious groups are the Christian Association of Nigeria, and the second one, the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in Nigeria. These are religious interest groups. They are concerned about the interests of their group members. The second one I mentioned is that of professions. Members of this group belong to the same profession. An example is Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT. We have the NUJ, Nigeria Union of Journalists. We have the Nigeria Medical Association for doctors and Nigeria Bar Association for lawyers. I mentioned Nigeria Union of Teachers. I didn't mention for teachers. I think you would have known that Nigerian Union of Teachers is for teachers. It's an association of teachers, while that of journalists is for journalists in Nigeria. We have peer groups. What is a peer group? What is a peer group? A peer group is a group of people who usually belong to the same age group. They are within the same age range, maybe from 5 to 10, 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, and so on. They can also be people from the same background, societal background or social status. The members of this group, the peer group, are likely to influence the person's beliefs and behaviors. That is where the peer group of a child, of you as a child, will not be taken with levity by the teachers and the parents. We want to know the kind of friends that you have. We want to know people that visit you and people that you visit, where you go part-time, because your peer group members can influence your beliefs and your behavior. Group behavior. Remember, we are treating positive group behavior. Now, what do we call group behavior? What is a group behavior? It's a collective action. A group members come together. Remember, we have more than one person in a group. We say 2 or more people sharing aspirations. And when they take action in such a group, it is a collective action. We can describe such an action as group behavior. It is behavior and togetherness. People are together in a group and they behave in a certain way. They behave in a certain way. Remember, we mentioned peer group earlier, that the members can influence the behaviors and beliefs of other members. Behavior in togetherness. They want to act together. They want to show togetherness in the way they do things. Therefore, group behavior can be described as behavior in togetherness and a collective action. If we have diverse groups, there will be diverse behaviors. Therefore, what are examples of group behavior? Let's quickly go through that. Yes, the first one I would like to mention is mass or mob action. Mass or mob action. A mob is an unorganized set of people carrying out a particular task in an unorganized manner. When they do this, they are virtually uncontrollable. They move. Somebody will suggest something in such a mob and everybody will follow without asking questions. It is a group behavior, mass or mob action. Another one is communal labor, which we carry out in our communities. People decide to come out to to maintain their roads, to pave ways to their farms in the community. It may be a village, it may be a town. They can put heads together and build a clinic before inviting the government to come and assist them. Such an effort, or such efforts, are called communal labor. Yes, groups protest. Groups protest. Protest is a group behavior. A group can decide to show their grievances to a particular set of people, people in authority or government in most cases. Patriotism is also a group behavior. What is patriotism? It is loving one's country and putting the country first before any other thing. A group and its members can decide to serve the country. And an example of that is the National Youth Service Corps in Nigeria, NYSC. A group of students that have graduated from higher institutions, polytechnics, and universities, and are serving their country for 1 year before they go and engage in other activities. Patriotism is a group behavior. Cultism, and its attendant evil are group behaviors. Cultism is secret, and they don't want people, and cult members don't want people to know what they carry out in their group. And whatsoever is done in secret that you don't want people to know, that you are not able to tell people, you cannot boast of, then there's possibility of evil in such a particular thing. The attendant evil include drug abuse and other social vices. That is why we mentioned cultism and its attendant evil as group behavior. Now, positive group behavior, our main point of discourse. Positive group behavior. What is positive group behavior? It is a group behavior that is positive, which is constructive. It is not destructive. Then we can call it a positive group behavior. Group behavior is said to be positive when it is constructive and not destructive. Now, such a behavior doesn't harm both members and non-members. It doesn't harm members. Members that belong to such a group benefit from the group. Likewise, non-members. Therefore, positive group behavior is the one that does not harm both members and non-members. They are not threatening the society, not threatening the peace, not disturbing the community. If group behavior will be positive, then there will be some features. What are the characteristics of positive group behavior? We are going to itemize them one after the other as time will permit us in this lesson. The first one I will want to talk about is compromise. What is compromise? Give and take. We mentioned protest as a kind of positive behavior. In a protest, a group that is protesting is trying to show its grievances to a particular group. And at the end of the day, the two groups have to come together to discuss. So in this course of discussion, the two groups, especially the group we are discussing will be able to shift grants to accommodate the other group. Then they will arrive at a solution to the problem they are protesting about. Positive group behavior is not destructive. We said it's constructive. People come together to do communal labor, communal work, self-help projects. Then it is not destructive. Positive behavior is not destructive. That's a feature of positive group behavior. The societal interest is of great importance in positive group behavior. Positive group behavior doesn't destroy the properties that belong to everyone in the society, even the ones that belong to individuals. They put the interest of the society in their minds. It's of great importance. As it benefits me, it has to benefit you in positive group behavior. Yes, we talked about protests, demonstrations. Positive group behavior demonstrates peacefully, not destructive like we said earlier, because they have the societal interest in their mind and it's of great importance. They are organized and they have good administrative pattern. When they go to the table to discuss matters, they take their resolutions to their group and try to convince their group members, the executives, will try to convince their group members why they should shift grants. And in most cases, grants are shifted to achieve a particular goal. And this can only be done when the behavior of the group is positive. They have this societal interest in their mind. They are ready to compromise. They are not destructive. Then they will be able to shift grants. If they can do this, compromise, be organized, and have societal betterment in mind, then there should be benefits that could be derived from such. What are the benefits of positive group behavior? We are going to quickly go through them. If there is positive group behavior, there will be security. People will not live insecure. People will be able to sleep and their two eyes closed if there is positive group behavior. Remember, such a group will have the societal betterment in mind in everything it does. So insecurity will not be a thing of concern. There will be security if the behavior of the group or any group is positive. The next one is companionship. Companionship, let's go together. Companionship, let's move together. Companionship, let's do it together. No one is isolated. No one stands alone. If there is positive group behavior, everybody is carried along. Positive societal influence. Yes, achievement will be easy in such environments where there is a positive group behavior. Everybody in the group has it in mind that the environment, the society as a whole, is to develop, and that is the bottom line for the agitations, demonstrations, protests, and clamors. And this will most times make achievement to be easy. An achievement, therefore, is a benefit of positive group behavior. Yeah. There will be effective avenue for change. Yes, the group has observed that there are some things going wrong in the society. They have protested, they have heard their grievances, they have compromised. They have the society in mind in everything they do. Therefore, there will be effective change. Positive group behavior is an effective avenue for change in the society. Yeah. So if the behavior is positive, everyone in the society will experience change accordingly. Yes, there will be provision of social services. If there is change, if some things are lacking, ineffective health services, a group agitates for effective, health services, and there is provision of effective health services. There is no good school in an environment, no good learning environment for their children. In a place, they show their grievances, and the effective avenue for change will bring provision of these social services like good health services and good educational environment for their children. There will be good road, water supply, electricity supply. We have discussed positive group behavior. I want to quickly assess how much following you have done with me. Let me first ask you what a group is. What is a group? What is a group? What is a group? A group can be regarded as an association of two or more persons pursuing a particular goal. Yes. What is positive group behavior? Positive. Positive. The emphasis since morning, or since we have started. Behavior that does not endanger both the members and the non-members. It doesn't harm any of them. What are the examples of group behavior? We have mentioned a couple of them. We have mentioned cultism, protest, mass action, and many more. You can think of behaviors that people put up when they are in a group. It can be disobedience for a particular peer group, but it mustn't always be negative. Positive group behavior is the emphasis. Now, what are the characteristics of this positive group behavior? Compromise. It is non-destructive. They are ready to shift grounds. Patriotism is part of it, and as many that we have mentioned and you can still think of. I've always said it that the scope of social studies, the scope of social studies covers creative thinking, reflective thinking, and problem solving. So I want you to think creatively and mention the characteristics of positive group behavior that were not mentioned earlier, even in this lesson. Or you put the ones mentioned earlier in your own words, meaningful, that is going to mean the same thing as mine. Now, what are the benefits? If we have positive group behavior, what are the things that we stand to gain? Development here and there, provision of social services is one of them. I know you are mentioning the rest. I just mentioned provision of social services. There will be peace in the society. Creative thinking will make you mention such, and that will be taken. I want to leave you with some questions for you to answer. The first one, differentiate between positive and negative group behaviors. Between positive and negative group behavior. I said earlier that we are going to mention negative group behavior later. Which of the behaviors mentioned do you think are negative? Draw a line between positive and negative group behaviors. And secondly, and finally too, what can we do? This is where you think creatively, reflectively, and to solve problems. What can we do as a society, as a family, as an individual to encourage positive group behavior in our society? What are those things that we can do? We didn't mention directly any of such in the lesson, but you can derive them from the lesson. So at this point that I'm leaving you with the questions, I want to say thank you for listening and implore you to join us next time. Still same station. Thank you for following, and bye.